Okay. So we're back, right? Yeah. So we are discussing a cost, right? So for individual use, it's free. Okay. So when you want to do more other features you want to extend, and so more number of times you want to run a collections, then it won't support. So free version doesn't support. You have to use a paid one. So that's the another limitation. So let's go understand what is JSON, then we'll come back to this portion, okay? So this portion, Postman, these are the Postman API testing purpose we are going to use. Let's understand what is JSON. So JSON is a, for example, you want to supply the data to your API. You can give in the JSON format. So JSON is a JavaScript object notation. It's a very lightweight format for storing and transporting the data between the client and server. And also, JSON is a language independent. It doesn't depend on the different languages. Based on the language, you don't need no different no data exchange tool. So you can use a JSON with any programming language. So this is the how you can create your JSON. Key value pair will be there. So each object, each data, so in the key value format. So this is the 1, 2. So this is the one curly bracket, start here, ends here. This is the one data. This is another data. This is another data. 3 employee records you can store in the employees array. So the square bracket means array, right? So array inside first data, second data, and third data. So this is how you can write a JSON. Data is in the name value pair. That's what the name value. Data is separated by commas. Okay, this is the comma. Last one, you don't need to put a comma. So curly bracket means it's a JSON object. So here one more should be there. Okay. So that's the, so curly bracket, it represents the JSON object. Square bracket represent the, so arrays. Represent the arrays. So that's the JSON format. So JSON data is written as a name value pairs, just like a JavaScript object properties. So it's like, you will write always key and value format. So JSON name requires a double quotes. And JavaScript names, they don't need. JSON objects are written in curly brackets. These are the JSON objects. So if you enclose anything in the curly brackets, that's a one JSON object. So one JSON object can contain multiple name value pair concepts. So arrays will be written in the square brackets. So this is the square bracket. This is the first array element, second array element, third array element. So that's all about JSON. Other than that, we don't want much. Okay. So the last one is very important, status codes. So what are the different status codes? So there are 1 series, 2 series, 200 series, 300 series, 400 series, 500 series. These are the 5 types of status codes you will see. 100 series is Basically, information purpose you will use. You will use for information purpose. So 100 continue, 101 switching protocols, 102 processing. So that's the status codes. 200 series is 200 OK, 201 created, 202 accepted, 203 non-authoritative information. All 200 series is successful request went to server, processed successfully, and then returned back. That's the 200 series means. So 200 series, remember, always your request is processed on the server and sent back successfully. That's the 200. Any 200 series, that's the meaning. 200 OK means okay, so processed and returned to you. 201 created. So when you're creating a new account or new resource, you will get this 201 created. 202 accepted. So server is accepted and no, nothing to return to you. So that's a 202 accepted. 204, no content. There is no content to return to you. And 205 reset content. 206 partial content. 207 multi-status. 208 already reported. 226 I am used. So basically you can use till this, only you don't need all of them, okay? Just 200, 201, 202, 204, 206. So that's enough in the 200 series. Just know what is what, okay? So if you want in detail, just response status codes. You will get a better clarity if you go to Wikipedia. Here. See, they provided very nicely, see. So 100 informational response, the request was received, continuing process. 200 successful means the request was successfully received, understood and accepted. So that's the meaning of the 200 series means. So 300 series means it's a redirecting. Further action is to be taken in order to complete the request. 400 series, client-side errors. If there are client errors, the request contains bad syntax, cannot be fulfilled, then 400 series error will be thrown to us. 500 series. The server failed to fulfill your request, so valid request. And then you will get a 500 series. So you can see detailed description is provided. See, standard response for successful HTTP request. The actual response will depend on the request method. In a GET request, you will generally get a 200 OK. So you are getting some data and it returned to you successfully. Then the response status code, you will see 200 OK. So you can use in the post request also, you can get a 200 OK sometime. In post request, the response will contain an entity describing the result of action. That's a 200 OK. 201 created. So the request has been fulfilled, resulting in the creation of a new resource. So a new resource is created. So with the 201 created. 201 created. So that means the resource is created successfully. That's the meaning of 201 created. 202 accepted means the request has been accepted for processing, but the processing has not been completed. So the request might or might not be eventually acted on it. Still, it is processing. Next, 204, no content. The server successfully processed the request and is not returning any content because no content to return. That time 204, no content. Process success, but no data to return. That time 204, no content you will get. And 206, partial content. The server is delivering only part of resource due to a range header sent by the client. 206, partial content. You can use that. So these are the 200 series thing. Then 300 series means, so redirecting. Okay, so the request might be different now. Before it was different, now it's different. Then you can use a 300 redirection. So this class of status code indicates that client must take additional action to complete the request. So user agent may carry out the additional action with no user interaction. So mainly we'll use, but these things very rarely will use. 300 multiple choices indicates multiple options for the resource from which the client may choose so two different choice, other options you might have. So when you send a request. 301 moved permanently. So this URL currently moved to another one. That's why moved permanently will get. Then you have to take action, use the right one. 302 found. Previously moved temporarily. So it tells the client to look at so the specifications and method and so different options you need to look for that. 304 not modified. These are all not that much important. Okay, just know it's a redirection purpose. 303, but you can say we use only 200 and 400, 500 series. So we need to understand more on 400 series. It's very important. See, so these 400 series status codes are applicable to any request method. So 400 bad request. What is mean by 400 bad request? The server cannot process the request due to in malformer request syntax, size is too large, invalid request messaging, and invalid data, right? Invalid method name, invalid URL, all bad data you entered. So then you will get a 400 bad request. Malformer request syntaxes, maybe you missed some curly bracket in the JSON body, or you have given the URL wrong, some typos. So all that will throw 400 bad request. So next one, 401 unauthorized and 403 forbidden. You need to understand these two. It's a very, very important, the difference. 401 unauthorized, 403 forbidden. You should understand. 401 unauthorized means you have provided invalid credentials and also you haven't provided any credentials, or you haven't provided any authorization token, or you haven't provided any OAuth token, you haven't provided any bearer token. Basically, you are not authorized. You are not given, you are not authenticated. You are not authenticated. So that time you will get a 401 unauthorized. Clear? Now 403 forbidden means you are authorized. Sorry, you are authenticated, but you don't have access to view, or you don't have access to do some operation on that API, then you will get a 403 forbidden. 401 is completely you are missing the token or credentials wrong, something. That's why you'll get a 401 unauthorized. Your API needs a authentication or authorization you need, but you didn't authenticate that properly with a token, with a credentials or anything. You're missing them. Then you will get a 401. 403, it's a quite different. You are authenticated, right? You are authenticated, but you don't have permission to perform the action on that API. So that is called 403 forbidden. Are you clear on these two? The common interview question, these 401, 403. 404 not found. If the requested resource could not be found in the server, then you will get a 404 not found. 405 method not allowed. 405 method not allowed. So that means the requested method is not supported for the requested resource. For example, a GET request on a form that requires data to be presented via POST or a PUT request on a read-only resource, but you're using a GET. For GET, you don't need to provide any data. That is only for POST and PUT only. But you're using a GET method. Then it will say, this method not allowed for this API. That then you will get a 405 method not allowed. Until 405, you must be strong. Then 409 conflict. Conflict means, so the request could not be processed because of conflict in the current state of the resource. Already processed. Multiple times you are trying to process. Same, then you'll get a 409 conflict. That's enough, I think. Here, other than that, you don't need many. Okay, there are so many, but you don't need all of them. One is 400 series, 401, 400 bad request, 401 unauthorized, 403 forbidden, 404 not found, 405 method not allowed, and 413 payload too large, and 409 conflict. So these are the things you should be aware of them. Rather than that, others you don't need that much. Next, 500 series. So what are the different 500 series status codes? The server failed to fulfill your request, so not able to process on the server side. Then it will throw 500 series. Then it will throw 500 series. The response status codes beginning with the digit 5 indicates that, so in which the server is aware that, so it has encountered an error, so in the server. So that time you will use 500 series. So 500 internal server error. When you will get this is, so basically it's a generic error message. So you can give when an unexpected condition was encountered and no more specific message is suitable, then 500 internal server error will be thrown by the server. And there is a 501 not implemented. The server either doesn't recognize the request method or it lacks the ability to fulfill the request. That means it is not implemented yet. So new feature, but still not implemented. So that time you will get a 501 not implemented. And okay. 502 bad gateway. The server was acting as a gateway or proxy and received an invalid response from the upstream server. So 502 bad gateway means, so you are getting an invalid response from the one more server. That time it is taking more time, then you will get a 502 bad gateway. 503 service unavailable. I think you have seen many times this one, right? The server cannot handle the request. Maybe it will be down or it went suddenly suspended and the server is not good and that service is not working. That time you will get a 503 service unavailable. 504 gateway timeout. So basically the server was acting as a gateway or proxy and didn't receive a response from the server. So that time 504 gateway timeout you will get it. So there are two servers. So and you need to get that. And so the gate is there. For that gate, still it didn't reach from the another server. So then it will throw 504 gateway timeout. So these are the four you need to know very well. 500. So they will ask generally, can you tell me what are the status codes you know? 200, 400, 500 series. Few of them you need to explain. So then it will be so more weightage for you. Any questions here?
No, Ramesh.
Yeah. So that's all about theoretical part. Now let's go. Even I have given here examples for query parameters. This is the query parameter. Okay, sort and limit. And the path parameters are, these are the path parameters. ID. Okay, this is the resource ID. That's a path parameters. Okay, so how can you give headers at REST assured framework? I'll show you that. Okay, so these are all questions. We can see that. So let's open. So today time is over. I have to go and let me give you quick walkthrough of the post. If you're aware, I'm good. Otherwise, let me give you a quick walkthrough. Okay. So this is the Postman, okay, and you have all this get to, post, put, to, patch, delete, okay, and this is the where you can give the URLs, the endpoint URLs, and this is the parameter authorization. You can see API key, bearer token you can give. Headers, this is the one. Key and value format we need to provide, okay. Key value format, we need to supply headers. So body will be there only for post to put methods only. For other things, you have to select none. For get to, there is no body. Delete, there is no body. Only post, put, patch. These things only, the body will be there. Then you select a raw and enter your body. Body is nothing but an input you are giving. So the input can be a JSON or HTML or XML or whatever. So whichever you are, so JSON. So you can pass in the JSON format. So that is this is the all request part. So when you, after all providing method name, endpoint URL, and headers, so the body, and there is a test cases. You can write the test cases here with the test tab. So with all these things, if you are ready, then click on send button. You can send the request to the server. Then you will get in the bottom side, the response part here. It will show here output. So that's this is the all request part, and this is the response part. So you can create a collections with the new collections. You can import. So already existing ones you can import here. And you can create this is the collections. You can create a collections, or you can create environment variables. So environment variables, different environments, different data you need to supply. So that environment variables you can maintain with these environments. Okay. So that I'll show you how to create a collection, then how to create a folders. All I'll show you tomorrow, and then we can process this. Okay. Tomorrow I'll show you that. Okay.